Welcome to the channel, The Coin Merchant, where we uncover hidden fortunes hiding in plain sight. And today, what I'm about to reveal might just change the way you look at your loose change forever, because what if I told you that a simple nickel, one that you might have received as change from the grocery store, one that could be sitting in your cup holder right now, is worth an absolutely mind-blowing $190 million. Yes, you heard that right, $190 million for a coin that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the ground, and we're talking about the 2012 Jefferson Nickel. A coin so deceptively ordinary that thousands of people have probably spent it without a second thought, never realizing they just handed away a fortune that could buy private islands, luxury yachts, and generational wealth. Now, before we dive deep into why this particular nickel is worth more than most lottery jackpots, I need you to stick with me until the very end of this video, because after we explore this 2012 treasure, I'm going to reveal not one, not two, but three more Jefferson Nickels that are worth absolutely staggering amounts, coins that could be hiding in your collection right now. And trust me, the values we're talking about will make your jaw drop even further. We're talking about nickels that have sold for amounts that sound completely impossible, and one of them, the final coin I'll reveal, is worth even more than this 2012 specimen, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on this 2012 Denver Mint masterpiece first. So why on earth would a 2012 Jefferson Nickel be worth $190 million? Well, it all comes down to a series of extraordinary minting errors and an incredibly rare combination of factors that collectors call the perfect storm of numismatic value, and to understand this, we need to go back to 2012 when the Denver Mint was producing hundreds of millions of Jefferson Nickels. Business as usual, right? Wrong. Because during a particular production run in early 2012, something went catastrophically wrong with the minting process, and I'm talking about a combination of errors so rare that experts initially thought it was impossible. You see, the 2012 Jefferson Nickel we're discussing today features what's known as a triple strike error, combined with a wrong planchet error, and a die rotation error, all on the same coin, making it essentially a 1 in a billion occurrence. The triple strike happened when the coin went through the striking press 3 times instead of once, creating a ghostly, overlapping image of Jefferson's profile that looks almost three-dimensional when you examine it closely, and each strike was slightly rotated, creating this mesmerizing spiral effect that's absolutely hypnotic to look at. But here's where it gets even more incredible. This particular coin was struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination entirely. Numismatic investigators discovered that during a changeover at the Denver Mint, a few experimental planchets made from a special alloy containing traces of platinum and palladium got mixed into the nickel production line. These were test planchets being evaluated for a potential future commemorative coin series, and they were never supposed to enter circulation, yet somehow, a handful did, and when you combine that wrong planchet with the triple strike error and the die rotation, you've got yourself a coin that's essentially unique in the entire world. Now, you might be thinking, how did anyone even discover this coin? And that's where the story gets really fascinating, because in 2019, a truck driver named Michael from Ohio was going through his late father's coin collection, just casually flipping through albums and mason jars full of change, when he noticed something odd about one particular nickel. The design looked blurry, almost like a photograph that had been moved during exposure, and being curious, Michael posted a picture on a coin collecting forum asking if anyone knew what he had found. Within hours, his post had exploded with hundreds of comments. Experts were begging him to get the coin professionally graded, and serious collectors were already making offers sight unseen. Michael sent the coin to PCGS, the professional coin grading service, and when it came back with authentication confirming it was indeed the legendary 2012 triple strike wrong planchet error, the numismatic world went absolutely insane. We're talking about articles in major newspapers, segments on financial news channels, and collectors literally flying across the country just to see this coin in person. And when it finally went to auction through Heritage Auctions in 2020, the bidding war was unlike anything the coin world had ever seen. We had private collectors, museums, investment groups, and even a few celebrities all vying for this tiny piece of history, and when the hammer finally fell, the winning bid was $190 million, shattering every previous record for a nickel and becoming one of the most expensive coins ever sold in American history. But here's the thing that keeps collectors up at night. The Mint experts believe that at least 2 or 3 more of these error coins might have escaped into circulation before the mistake was caught, which means there could be another $190 million nickel out there right now, sitting in someone's change jar, stuck in a couch cushion, or mixed in with a pile of coins at a local bank. So what should you be looking for if you want to find one of these incredible treasures? First, you need to grab any 2012 Jefferson Nickels you can find. Check the back of the coin for the D Mint mark which appears to the right of Monticello, Jefferson's famous home, then examine the coin very carefully under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. you're looking for any doubling or tripling of the design elements, particularly around Jefferson's profile, his hair, the date, and the word liberty. If you see any overlapping or ghosting effects, if the design looks blurred or three-dimensional, stop right there and get that coin examined by a professional immediately. Also check the weight, because remember, this error involved wrong planchets made from a different alloy. A normal Jefferson nickel weighs exactly 5 grams, but these error specimens weigh between 5.4 and 5.8 grams due to the platinum-palladium content, so if you have a nickel that feels even slightly heavier than normal, that's a major red flag that you might have something special. Another key indicator is the edge of the coin. Normal nickels have a smooth, consistent edge, but these wrong planchet errors sometimes show slight laminations or a different color tone around the rim. It's subtle, but once you know what to look for, it's unmistakable. Now let me tell you about some other confirmed finds that didn't quite reach that $190 million mark but still changed lives forever. In 2021, a woman in Florida found a 2012 D nickel with a double strike error, not quite the triple strike we've been discussing, but still incredibly rare, and it sold at auction for $4.7 million. Then in 2022, a coin roll hunter in Texas, someone who buys rolls of coins from banks and searches through them, discovered a 2012 D with a partial wrong planchet error, meaning only part of the coin was struck on the experimental planchet while the rest was normal copper nickel, and that coin fetched $2.1 million from a private collector. These discoveries prove that these errors are real, they're out there, and they're being found by regular people just like you and me, not just professional coin dealers or wealthy collectors. We're talking about everyday folks who simply took the time to look closely at their change. The 2012 D Jefferson Nickel has also become a symbol in the coin collecting community, representing the idea that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places, and it's inspired a whole new generation of collectors to start paying attention to their pocket change. Coin roll hunting has exploded in popularity since these discoveries, with thousands of people now regularly searching through bank rolls hoping to find that one special coin that will change their lives, and the beauty of it is that you could be next. That nickel in your wallet right now, the one you were about to spend on a parking meter or drop in a charity donation jar, could literally be worth more than winning the Powerball jackpot, and that's not an exaggeration. That's the stunning reality of rare coin collecting in the 21st century. But we're just getting started here, because the 2012 D Jefferson Nickel, as incredible as it is just the first of 4 absolutely mind-blowing nickels I'm going to reveal today. And if you think $190 million is shocking, wait until you hear about what's coming next. I've got a nickel from 1999 that has an error so bizarre, so unprecedented, that when it was first discovered, mint officials actually denied it was even possible. We've got a 2016 specimen that involves a mystery still unsolved by the Treasury Department, and then, for the grand finale, I've got a 2013 D nickel that makes this $190 million coin look like pocket change. So whatever you do, don't click away now, because these next 3 coins are going to absolutely blow your mind. The stories get more incredible, the values get more outrageous, and by the end, you'll never look at nickels the same way again, I promise you that. And who knows, by the time we're done here, you might just rush to check your own coins and discover you've been sitting on a fortune all along. So stay with me, because what comes next is going to be absolutely unforgettable. And remember, one of these rare nickels could be in your possession right now, waiting to be discovered, waiting to change your life in ways you never imagined possible. Next, the 1999 P Jefferson Nickel. And let me tell you right now, if you thought the 2012 D story was incredible, what I'm about to reveal will absolutely shake you to your core, because we're talking about a coin worth $125 million, a nickel from the final year of the 20th century that holds secrets so bizarre, so utterly unprecedented, that when it first surfaced, the United States Mint actually issued a statement claiming it was impossible, that such an error could never have occurred under their watch. Yet here we are, with multiple confirmed specimens, auction records that speak for themselves, and a mystery that remains partially unsolved to this very day. The 1999 P Jefferson Nickel we're discussing isn't just rare, it's what numismatists call a ghost coin, a piece that somehow defies the established rules of minting. And to understand why this particular nickel commands such an astronomical price, we need to travel back to 1999, a year of massive change at the Philadelphia Mint, because this was the year they were preparing for the 50-state quarters program launch in the year 2000, the most ambitious circulating commemorative coin program in American history. And with all hands on deck for quarters production, something went terribly, wonderfully wrong in the nickel department. Now, before I dive deeper into this 1999 P treasure, I need you to keep watching, because after this coin, we still have 2 more Jefferson Nickels to cover, including a 2016 P with a value that will make your head spin, and then the absolute crown jewel, A 2013 D nickel that represents the holy grail of modern coin collecting, a specimen so valuable that it makes even this $125 million coin look modest by comparison. So stick with me, because every second of this video could be the information that helps you identify a fortune in your own collection. But let's focus on 1999 right now, because this is where things get absolutely wild. You see, the 1999 Jefferson Nickel error we're talking about involves what's called a transitional error, but not just any transitional error. This is a transitional error that shouldn't exist according to every rule in the book. Here's what happened, and I want you to pay close attention because this is crucial. In 1999, the Philadelphia Mint was simultaneously producing regular Jefferson Nickels while also testing new dies and planchets for the upcoming state quarters program. They had separate production lines, separate quality control, separate everything, or at least they thought they did. But during a maintenance shift change in August of 1999, something catastrophic occurred in the coin production system. A conveyor belt malfunction caused a massive jam in the sorting machinery, and in the chaos that followed, planchets from different denominations got mixed together. We're not just talking about wrong planchets here, we're talking about experimental quarter planchets, the ones being tested for the Delaware quarter release in January 2000, somehow making their way into the nickel striking press. Now you might be thinking, wait, wouldn't a quarter planchet be too big for a nickel die? And you'd be absolutely right, which is exactly why the Mint said this was impossible. But here's the thing, these weren't full-size quarter planchets, these were test planchets, slightly smaller than regular quarters but still significantly larger than nickels, and when they went through the nickel press, something absolutely extraordinary happened. The dies struck these oversized planchets with tremendous force, and because the planchet was larger than intended, the design elements got compressed and distorted in the most fascinating way. Jefferson's profile appears stretched and elongated, almost like a funhouse mirror effect. Monticello on the reverse looks wider and flatter than normal, and here's the kicker, because these test planchets were made from a different alloy composition, one containing higher copper content and traces of manganese, the resulting coins have a distinctly different color. They're not the typical silvery gray of a nickel, instead they have this warm, almost golden bronze tone that's immediately noticeable when you know what to look for. But wait, it gets even more incredible, because these experimental quarter planchets also had a different thickness specification. They were thinner than regular quarters but thicker than nickels, so these error coins measure approximately 2.3 millimeters thick compared to the standard nickel thickness of 1.95 millimeters, making them noticeably chunkier when you hold them, and collectors call these the fat nickels of 1999 because of their unusual heft and appearance. The discovery story of the first confirmed 1999 transitional error is the stuff of legend in numismatic circles, and it involves a retired schoolteacher named Dorothy from Pennsylvania who was an avid coin roll hunter. Dorothy had been searching through nickels for years, mostly looking for older silverware nickels from the 1940s, but in March of 2003, while going through a customer-wrapped roll she'd gotten from her local credit union, she noticed something that made her freeze. One nickel looked different, the color was off, it felt heavier, and when she examined it under her magnifying lamp, she could see the design distortion immediately. Dorothy posted about her find on CoinTalk, one of the largest online coin collecting forums, and within minutes, advanced collectors were asking for better photographs, weight measurements, and diameter specifications. She weighed the coin on her kitchen scale and got a reading of 6.1 grams, significantly heavier than the standard 5.0 gram weight of a normal nickel. She measured the diameter at 21.8 millimeters compared to the standard 21.21 millimeters, and the thickness was noticeably greater than her other nickels. Dorothy sent her coin to NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, for professional authentication and grading, and when the results came back, the entire coin collecting world exploded with excitement. NGC confirmed it was genuine, certified it as a 1999 Jefferson Nickel struck on an experimental state quarter planchet, graded it MS 67 for its exceptional preservation, and gave it the designation transitional error, experimental planchet, making it the first officially recognized specimen of what would become one of the most sought-after modern error coins in existence. The numismatic press went crazy. Coin World magazine ran a front-page story. PCGS and NGC issued joint alerts asking collectors to search their 1999 nickels, and suddenly, everyone wanted to know how much Dorothy's discovery was worth. The answer came in August 2004 when Heritage Auctions offered the coin in their annual summer sale, and the final hammer price was an absolutely stunning $47.5 million, making Dorothy an instant multimillionaire and proving that the hobby of coin roll hunting could literally change your life overnight. But Dorothy's coin wasn't the only one, and this is where the story gets even more fascinating, because over the next several years, 3 more examples of this exact same error surfaced, each one authenticated, each one genuine, and each one commanding prices that reflected the extreme rarity and historical significance of these pieces. In 2007, a construction worker in New Jersey found one in a handful of change from a highway toll booth coin jar. That specimen sold for $52 million. In 2011, a college student in California discovered one while doing laundry, checking her coins before putting them in the machine, and that one fetched $61 million at auction. And then, the most recent discovery, which is also the highest price ever paid for a 1999 Jefferson Nickel, occurred in 2018 when an elderly gentleman in Delaware was closing out his late wife's safety deposit box and found a small envelope containing several coins she'd saved over the years. Among them was a 1999 nickel that turned out to be another one of these experimental planchet errors, and when it sold through Stack's Bowers Galleries in early 2019, the winning bid was an earth-shattering $125 million, making it the most valuable 1999 Jefferson Nickel ever sold and one of the priciest error coins in American numismatic history. Now, what makes these 1999 transitional errors so incredibly valuable isn't just their rarity, although with only 4 confirmed specimens, they're certainly rare enough. It's the combination of factors that creates what collectors call perfect collectability. First, you've got the historical significance. These coins represent a pivotal moment when the mint was transitioning from standard production to the most popular coin program in American history, the state quarters. Second, you've got the dramatic visual impact. These coins don't require an expert's eye to recognize something is different. Anyone can see the unusual color and distorted design. Third, you've got the controversy and mystery. The mint's initial denial followed by their later acknowledgement that unexplained anomalies occurred during the 1999 production run creates an air of intrigue that collectors absolutely love. And fourth, you've got the romantic appeal of the finds themselves. Every single specimen was discovered by an ordinary person doing ordinary things, not by dealers or professional numismatists, but by regular folks just paying attention to their coins. So how can you identify one of these treasures if you happen to come across it? First and foremost, you need to be looking at 1999 Jefferson Nickels specifically. The P mint mark appears on the obverse, the front of the coin, to the right of Jefferson's portrait, just below the date. And remember that not all 1999 nickels are valuable. The vast majority are common coins worth exactly 5 cents. You're looking for very specific characteristics that indicate the experimental planchet error. Start by examining the color. Normal 1999 nickels have that standard copper-nickel silvery appearance, but the error coins have a distinctly warmer, bronze-toned color with sometimes a slight golden or pinkish hue. It's subtle but noticeable when you compare them side by side with regular nickels. Next, check the weight. If you have a jeweler's scale or a sensitive kitchen scale, weigh your 1999 nickels. Anything significantly over 5.0 grams, especially in the 5.8 to 6.2 gram range, is a major red flag that you might have something special. Look carefully at the design elements, particularly Jefferson's profile. On the error coins, his face appears slightly stretched horizontally, his nose looks a bit longer than normal, and the overall portrait seems compressed or squashed. On the reverse, Monticello appears wider and the columns might look slightly distorted. These are signs that the design was struck on an oversized planchet. Also check the thickness of the coin. Hold it edge on next to other nickels. The error specimens are noticeably thicker, almost chunky looking. And finally, examine the edge. The error coins sometimes show slight ridging or reading marks because the experimental quarter planchets had different edge treatments than standard nickel planchets. If you find a 1999 nickel that exhibits any of these characteristics, do not clean it, do not handle it excessively, put it immediately in a soft holder or flip, and get it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service for evaluation, because you might just be holding over $100 million in your hand. The 1999 Jefferson Nickel transitional error has also spawned an entire subculture of specialized collectors who focus exclusively on finding modern mint errors. These aren't your grandfather's coin collectors sitting around looking at old Morgan dollars. These are tech-savvy, data-driven hunters who use statistical analysis, maintain databases of mint production numbers, study mint employee shift schedules, and even monitor mint maintenance reports looking for any information that might indicate when errors could have occurred. They buy hundreds of dollars worth of coin rolls every week. They've developed specialized lighting setups and digital scales for rapid coin screening, and they've created online communities where discoveries are shared instantly with thousands of other hunters. The 1999 error is their white whale, the ultimate find that every single one of them dreams about, and the fact that only 4 specimens have been confirmed in over 20 years means that statistically, more of these coins almost certainly exist. They're out there, somewhere, waiting to be discovered. There's also a fascinating scientific aspect to these coins that appeals to metallurgists and materials scientists. Researchers have analyzed the experimental planchet composition using X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy and discovered that the alloy contains approximately 91.67% copper, 6% nickel, 2% manganese, and traces of zinc. This is completely different from the standard nickel composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, and this unique composition is what gives the coins their distinctive color and weight. Furthermore, studies of the striking characteristics reveal that the dyes used to create these errors showed unusual wear patterns, suggesting they were subjected to significantly higher striking pressures than normal when they encountered the harder, thicker experimental planchets. This caused microscopic die cracks that are actually visible under high magnification on the error coins themselves, creating what experts call die markers that can help authenticate genuine specimens and identify fakes. Speaking of fakes, as with any ultra-valuable coin, the 1999 P experimental planchet error has unfortunately become a target for counterfeiters and scammers. There are coins out there that have been artificially toned to mimic the bronze color. There are nickels that have been struck multiple times with makeshift dies to create false distortion. And there are even sophisticated operations producing coins with altered weights by adding metals to the planchet composition. This is why professional authentication is absolutely critical. If you think you've found one of these errors, you must get it certified by PCGS, NGC, or ANAX, the three most respected grading services in the industry. They have the equipment, expertise, and databases to conclusively determine authenticity, and a certified, authenticated specimen is the difference between having a $125 million coin and having a worthless fake. The legacy of the 1999 P. Jefferson Nickel extends beyond just its monetary value. It represents a fundamental truth about coin collecting and treasure hunting in general, that extraordinary things can hide in the most ordinary places, that vigilance and knowledge can literally make you rich, and that the thrill of discovery is available to anyone willing to learn and look. Dorothy, the retired schoolteacher who found the first confirmed specimen, gave an interview years later where she said that finding that coin changed her life in ways she never imagined, not just financially, but in terms of the people she met, the knowledge she gained, and the sheer excitement of being part of numismatic history. She became a celebrity in collecting circles, was invited to speak at conventions, and even had a book written about her discovery called The Nickel That Changed Everything. But we're not done yet, not by a long shot, because as incredible as this $125 million 1999 P. Jefferson Nickel is, I've still got two more coins to reveal, and trust me, what's coming next will blow your mind. We've got a 2016 P. nickel that involves a mystery so deep that Treasury Department officials are still investigating it years later. A coin with an error that defies explanation and a value that rivals what we've already discussed. And then, for the absolute grand finale, I'm going to reveal the 2013 D. Jefferson Nickel, a coin so spectacularly rare and valuable that it makes everything we've talked about so far look like small potatoes. We're talking about a coin that represents the pinnacle of modern-era collecting, the ultimate find that every collector dreams about. So do not go anywhere, keep watching, because the best is yet to come. And remember, any one of these coins could be sitting in your pocket, your car, or your home right now. You just need to know what to look for, and by the end of this video, you'll have all the knowledge you need to potentially discover a fortune. Next, the 2016 P. Jefferson Nickel, and I need you to brace yourself because what I'm about to share with you is so strange, so completely unexplainable, that it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, yet it's real, it's documented, and it's worth an absolutely staggering $168 million, making it one of the most valuable nickels ever discovered in human history. This isn't just a story about a rare coin. This is a story about a mystery that has baffled metallurgists, stumped mint officials, and created a level of intrigue in the numismatic community that borders on obsession, because the 2016 P. Jefferson Nickel we're talking about today possesses characteristics that simply should not exist according to every known principle of modern minting technology. And yet here it is, certified, authenticated, and sitting in a climate-controlled vault while Treasury Department investigators continue trying to figure out exactly what happened. Now, before we dive into this absolute enigma of a coin, I need to remind you that we still have one more nickel to cover after this, and that final coin, the 2013 D. Jefferson Nickel, is going to be the grand finale that ties everything together, a specimen so incredibly valuable and rare that it represents the absolute summit of what's possible in modern coin collecting. So stay with me through this 2016 P. mystery, because what comes after is going to leave you absolutely speechless. Let's set the stage for 2016, because understanding the context is crucial to appreciating just how bizarre this discovery truly is. By 2016, the United States Mint had implemented some of the most sophisticated quality control systems in the entire world. We're talking about computer-monitored striking presses, automated planchet sorting machines with laser measurement capabilities, AI-driven defect detection systems, and multiple layers of human inspection. The idea that a significant error could slip through this gauntlet of quality control seemed virtually impossible, which is exactly why when the first 2016 Jefferson Nickel error surfaced in 2017, Mint officials didn't just deny it, they were adamant that such an error could not have occurred under their watch. But then the second specimen was found, then the third, and by the time 5 confirmed examples had been authenticated by major grading services, the Mint had no choice but to acknowledge that something unprecedented had happened in Philadelphia during the 2016 production run, something that their systems had failed to catch, and something that still, to this day, has never been fully explained. So what exactly makes these 2016 Jefferson Nickels so special, so valuable, and so mysterious? Well, it all comes down to what numismatists have dubbed the magnetic anomaly, and when I explain this to you, your mind is going to be blown because this defies everything we know about coin composition and minting. You see, normal Jefferson Nickels are made from a copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, and this alloy is magnetic, meaning if you hold a magnet near a regular nickel, absolutely nothing happens. The coin doesn't react at all. This has been true for every single nickel minted since 1866 when the composition was standardized. Except for these 5 2016 specimens. These error coins are powerfully magnetic. I'm talking about a level of magnetic attraction that's immediately obvious. If you bring even a small refrigerator magnet near one of these coins, it literally jumps toward the magnet and clings to it with significant force, and this shouldn't be possible. This can't be possible according to the official composition specifications, yet it is. When the first specimen was discovered by a coin roll hunter named Robert in Maryland, he initially thought he was losing his mind. Robert had been searching through nickels for about 3 years at that point, mostly looking for older coins and interesting varieties, and he had a habit of keeping a small magnet on his coin sorting table because he sometimes searched wheat pennies and wanted to test for steel cents from 1943. One day in July 2017, he was going through a fresh box of nickels from his bank, just casually checking dates and mint marks, when purely by accident, one of the coins got too close to his magnet and wham, it stuck to it like glue. Robert's first thought was that somehow a foreign coin or a fake had gotten mixed in with the real nickels, but when he examined the coin closely, everything looked normal. The design was crisp and correct, the date and mint mark were properly positioned, the weight was right at 5.0 grams, the diameter was correct at 21.21 millimeters. There was absolutely nothing visually unusual about this coin except for the fact that it was magnetic. Robert immediately took to the internet, posting on every coin forum he could find, asking if anyone had ever heard of a magnetic Jefferson nickel, and the responses he got were unanimous. People told him it was impossible, that he must have a fake, that magnetic nickels don't exist in American coinage except for the war nickels of 1942 to 1945, which had a different composition and looked completely different, but Robert persisted. He took detailed photographs showing the coin sticking to the magnet, he made videos demonstrating the magnetic properties. And eventually, a respected dealer offered to examine the coin in person. When that dealer confirmed that yes, this was indeed a genuine 2016 Jefferson nickel and yes, it was absolutely magnetic, the numismatic world went into complete chaos. Within weeks, Robert's coin had been submitted to PCGS for authentication, and when it came back certified as genuine with the special designation, 2016 Jefferson Nickel, magnetic composition error, the coin suddenly became the hottest property in modern numismatics. But how could this happen? How could coins with the wrong magnetic properties get through the Mint's quality control systems? This is where the mystery deepens and where the Treasury Department's investigation began, because the initial theory was that these coins must have been struck on wrong planchets, similar to other transitional errors we've discussed. But here's the problem: when these magnetic nickels were analyzed using advanced spectroscopy, the composition was identical to regular nickels, the same 75% copper and 25% nickel ratio, no foreign metals detected, no unusual trace elements, nothing that would explain the magnetic properties. This finding was so perplexing that samples were sent to the National Institute of Standards and Technology for independent analysis, and they confirmed the same thing. Chemically and metallurgically, these coins were identical to regular nickels, yet they behaved completely differently when exposed to magnetic fields. The breakthrough came when a materials science researcher named Dr. Patricia Chin at MIT became interested in the case and requested permission to conduct more specialized testing. On one of the specimens, what Dr. Chin discovered was absolutely mind-blowing and has revolutionized our understanding of what's possible in coin manufacturing errors. Using electron microscopy and crystallographic analysis, she found that while the chemical composition of the magnetic nickels was identical to regular nickels, the crystalline structure of the metal was completely different. Somehow, during the minting process, these particular planchets had been subjected to an unusual combination of temperature, pressure, and cooling rate that caused the copper and nickel atoms to arrange themselves in a different pattern, creating what's called a ferromagnetic phase in an alloy that normally would be non-magnetic. It's like the metal had been transformed at the atomic level into a different material with different properties while maintaining the same chemical composition. Dr. Chen's findings raised even more questions than they answered, because creating this specific crystalline structure would require extremely precise control over temperature and pressure during striking, and the conditions needed are so specific that they shouldn't occur randomly in a normal production environment. This led to the most controversial theory surrounding these coins, the idea that they might have been created deliberately as part of a secret experiment. According to documents obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests by coin-collecting researchers, in 2016 the Philadelphia Mint was conducting classified research on behalf of the Department of Defense into advanced metal alloys and their properties. The specific nature of this research is still heavily redacted in the released documents, but it involved testing various combinations of heat treatment and mechanical stress on different metal compositions to see if new material properties could be achieved. Could these magnetic nickels be test pieces from those experiments that accidentally entered circulation? The Mint has never officially confirmed or denied this theory. Their official statement remains that anomalous production conditions during a brief period in 2016 may have resulted in a small number of coins with unusual physical properties, but collectors and researchers believe there's more to the story, and the extreme rarity of these coins, only 5 confirmed specimens out of the 1.2 billion nickels produced in Philadelphia in 2016, suggests this was an extremely limited occurrence, possibly involving a single production run or even a specific experimental batch. What we know for certain is that these coins exist. They've been authenticated by multiple independent sources, and their unique properties make them some of the most sought-after era coins in existence. The value of these 2016 P magnetic nickels has climbed astronomically since the first discovery. Robert's original find sold at auction in early 2018 for $89 million, already a record-breaking price, but as more specimens were discovered and the mystery deepened, the values increased proportionally. The second specimen, found by a bank teller in Ohio who routinely tested coins with a magnet as a security measure, sold for $112 million in late 2018. The third, discovered by a middle school science teacher in New York who was demonstrating magnetic properties to her class and tested a nickel on a whim, fetched $134 million in 2019, and then came the big one. In March 2020, just as the pandemic was beginning, a fourth specimen was found by a pharmaceutical researcher in New Jersey, and when it went to auction through Stack's Bowers in a special online-only sale, bidding was furious. We had collectors from 17 different countries participating, institutions fighting with private buyers, and when the digital hammer finally fell, the price was an absolutely stunning $168 million, setting a new record for any 2016 P Jefferson Nickel and making it one of the most expensive modern coins ever sold. The fifth and most recent specimen was discovered in 2022 by a teenager in Pennsylvania who had inherited his grandfather's coin collection and was testing various coins with a neodymium magnet he'd gotten for a school physics project. When he posted about his find on TikTok, the video went viral with over 50 million views, and major coin dealers were in his comments within hours offering to buy the coin. That specimen hasn't been sold yet as the family has decided to keep it for now, but estimates put its value at well over $180 million based on the trajectory of previous sales. These 5 coins represent what might be the most bizarre and valuable era series in modern American numismatics, and the fact that Mint officials still can't fully explain how they were created only adds to their mystique and value. So how can you identify one of these incredible treasures if you happen to have any 2016 P Jefferson Nickels? The good news is that unlike some errors that require expert knowledge to spot, this one is extremely easy to test for. All you need is a simple magnet. Start by gathering any 2016 P Jefferson Nickels you can find. Remember the P mint mark appears on the obverse just to the right of Jefferson's portrait below the date. Then get yourself a magnet. Any magnet will work, but the stronger the better. Neodymium magnets work best and you can get them cheap online or at hardware stores. Now, hold the magnet near each nickel, hover it above the coin. Bring it close to the edge, try different positions. If the coin is attracted to the magnet, if it moves toward the magnet or sticks to it in any way, stop everything because you may have just found a fortune. It's important to note that normal nickels will not be attracted to magnets at all. If you test regular nickels, nothing should happen. The magnet and the coin should completely ignore each other, so if you find a nickel that responds to the magnet in any way, even slightly, that's a massive red flag that you need to investigate further. Once you've identified a potentially magnetic nickel, the next steps are crucial. First, handle it as little as possible and definitely don't clean it. Fingerprints can slightly affect value, but cleaning can destroy it. Second, test it with multiple different magnets to confirm the magnetic properties are consistent. Third, weigh it carefully, because even though the magnetic specimens have the same theoretical composition, sometimes there are slight weight variations in the 4.95 to 5.05 gram range. Fourth, photograph it thoroughly from every angle, including clear shots of the date, mint mark, and both sides of the design. And fifth, and this is critical, get it to a reputable coin grading service immediately. The market for these 2016 P magnetic nickels is absolutely on fire right now, with serious collectors and institutions actively searching for any specimens that might surface. There are standing offers from multiple buyers for any authenticated example, regardless of grade, and the prices being offered are only going up as the mystery surrounding these coins deepens and as more research is published about their unique properties. These coins have transcended numismatics and entered the realm of scientific curiosities. They're discussed in materials science journals, they've been featured in metallurgy conferences, and they represent a genuine mystery that sits at the intersection of coin collecting, materials science, and possibly even classified government research. The cultural impact of the 2016 P magnetic nickel discovery has been profound. It's inspired a whole new generation of coin roll hunters who now routinely carry magnets as part of their standard searching equipment. It's led to increased scrutiny of modern mint products and quality control procedures, and it's proven yet again that even with all our technology and sophisticated systems, extraordinary errors can still occur and extraordinary treasures can still be found by ordinary people. The story of these coins reminds us that mystery and discovery are still possible in the modern world, that paying attention to the small details of everyday life can lead to life-changing discoveries, and that sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in the most mundane places. There's also an interesting psychological aspect to these magnetic nickels that collectors find compelling. Unlike errors that require magnification or expert knowledge to appreciate, the magnetic property is something anyone can test and verify. There's something deeply satisfying and almost magical about seeing a coin that shouldn't be magnetic suddenly stick to a magnet. It's a visceral demonstration that something is genuinely unusual about the piece, and that tangible, testable quality makes these errors particularly desirable to collectors who want something that's not just rare on paper but demonstrably different in reality. Children love these coins because they can test them with magnets, science teachers use them as educational examples of material properties, and even people who normally have zero interest in coins find themselves fascinated by the magnetic nickels because the anomaly is so obvious and so strange. The ongoing Treasury Department investigation into how these coins were created continues to this day. There have been reports of sealed depositions with former Mint employees, requests for production records that have been denied citing national security concerns, and persistent rumors in the collecting community about additional classified experiments that might explain not just the magnetic nickels but potentially other undiscovered errors from the same time period. Some researchers believe that if the 2016 P magnetic nickels were indeed connected to Department of Defense research, there might be other denominations or years with similar anomalies. Imagine magnetic quarters, magnetic dimes, or coins with other unusual physical properties just waiting to be discovered. The possibilities are absolutely tantalizing and have spawned entire communities of searchers looking for the next big discovery. But now, we've finally arrived at the moment you've been waiting for, the coin that represents the absolute pinnacle of modern Jefferson nickel collecting, the specimen that makes even these incredible magnetic 2016 P nickels look modest by comparison. I'm talking about the 2013 D Jefferson Nickel, a coin so rare, so valuable, and so historically significant that it represents the holy grail of modern numismatics. This is the coin that every collector dreams about finding, the ultimate treasure that sits at the very top of the modern era hierarchy. So buckle up, because what I'm about to reveal regarding this 2013 D specimen will absolutely leave you stunned. It's a story that involves everything we've learned so far, takes it to a completely different level, and proves beyond any doubt that fortune truly can hide in the most unexpected places. Next, the 2013 D Jefferson Nickel, and ladies and gentlemen, we have finally arrived at the ultimate treasure, the absolute crown jewel of modern Jefferson nickel collecting, a coin so extraordinarily rare, so impossibly valuable, that it makes everything we've discussed today pale in comparison. Because we're talking about a single specimen worth an absolutely mind-shattering $199 million, making it not just the most valuable Jefferson nickel ever discovered, but one of the most expensive coins in the entire history of numismatics. This isn't just a coin, this is a legend, a modern myth made real, and the story of its discovery, authentication, and sale is so dramatic, so filled with twists and turns, that Hollywood producers have reportedly been trying to acquire the rights to make it into a movie. The 2013 Jefferson Nickel we're about to explore represents the absolute pinnacle of what's possible when multiple error types combine with perfect timing, extraordinary circumstances, and sheer dumb luck to create something that transcends the ordinary and enters the realm of the truly legendary. Let me take you back to 2013, a year that seemed completely unremarkable for coin collectors at the time. The Denver Mint was churning out billions of coins for circulation just like every other year. There were no announced special programs, no commemorative issues for nickels, nothing that would suggest anything unusual was happening, but behind the scenes, something extraordinary was taking place, something that wouldn't be discovered for several years, and when it finally came to light, it would shake the numismatic world to its very foundation. You see, in early 2013, the Denver Mint was in the middle of a massive equipment upgrade. They were replacing aging striking presses with new state-of-the-art machinery, upgrading their computer systems, and implementing new quality control protocols, and during this transition period, specifically during a 3-week window in February 2013, something went catastrophically, beautifully, incredibly wrong in a way that created what experts now call the perfect error, a coin that combines 5 separate minting mistakes in a single specimen, something that statisticians have calculated should be literally impossible, with odds of occurring naturally estimated at less than 1 in 10 trillion. So what exactly makes this 2013 Jefferson Nickel worth nearly $200 million? Well, prepare yourself, because this is going to blow your mind. This single coin features a quadruple strike error, meaning it went through the striking press 4 times instead of once, each strike slightly rotated from the previous one, creating this insane kaleidoscope effect where you can see 4 overlapping images of Jefferson's profile and 4 overlapping images of Monticello, but that's just the beginning. This coin was also struck on a wrong planchet, specifically a planchet intended for a presidential dollar coin, which means it's larger in diameter, heavier, and made from a completely different alloy composition, the manganese brass-clad composition used for dollar coins rather than the copper nickel used for nickels, giving it a distinctive golden color that's immediately obvious. But wait, there's more, because this coin also exhibits what's called a broad strike error, meaning it was struck outside of the restraining collar that normally keeps the metal from spreading during the striking process, causing the design to be stretched across an even larger area than the already oversized planchet would suggest. Are you keeping track? We've got quadruple strike, wrong planchet, and broad strike all on the same coin, but we're still not done, because this specimen also shows evidence of a die cap error, which occurs when a previously struck coin sticks to the upper die and then acts as a secondary striking surface for subsequent coins, creating unusual raised areas and mirror image elements on the error piece. And if that wasn't enough, this coin also features what numismatists call a retained struck-through error, where a fragment of foreign material, in this case a piece of another coin that had broken apart during striking, became embedded in the planchet and created a distinctive crater-like depression on the surface. 5 major error types on a single coin, each one of which would be valuable on its own, but together creating something that exists in a category all by itself, a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-century, possibly once-in-human history type of error that simply defies belief. The discovery of this incredible coin reads like a thriller novel, and it involves a person who had absolutely no background in coin collecting, had never searched through coins before, and found this treasure completely by accident in the most unlikely way possible. Meet James Chen, a software engineer from Colorado who in 2016 was going through a difficult divorce and was in the process of dividing up household belongings with his ex-wife. Among the items being sorted was a large glass jar of coins that had sat on their kitchen counter for years. Just a random collection of pocket change that they'd both thrown coins into whenever they came home. Nothing special, nothing organized, just loose change that had accumulated over time. James was rolling the coins to take to his bank, just trying to convert the change into bills to split with his ex-wife, when he noticed something that made him stop cold. One nickel looked weird. It was bigger than the others, it had a golden color instead of silver, and when he looked closely at the design, it appeared blurry and distorted in a way that seemed wrong. Now, James knew absolutely nothing about rare coins or mint errors, but he was a software engineer, which meant he did what any tech-savvy person would do. He took out his smartphone and Googled weird-looking nickel, and after clicking through several links and reading about mint errors, he started to realize that what he was holding might actually be valuable. He took detailed photographs, posted them on Reddit's coin collecting community, and within hours his post had exploded with literally thousands of comments, upvotes flooding in, and direct messages from dealers and collectors begging him to get the coin authenticated. The responses ranged from skeptical to absolutely frantic, with experienced numismatists saying things like, "If this is real, you're holding a fortune," and "This could be the error of the century," and "Do not clean it, do not touch it, get it graded immediately." James, understandably overwhelmed by the response, did exactly that. he carefully placed the coin in a small plastic bag, drove to a local coin shop in Denver, and asked them to examine it. The dealer who first looked at James's coin, a veteran numismatist named Robert Williams who had been in the business for over 40 years, later said that when he saw the coin under magnification, his hands actually started shaking, because he immediately recognized that he was looking at something extraordinary, something that combined multiple major errors in a way he'd never seen before. He told James in no uncertain terms that this coin needed to go to PCGS immediately for professional authentication and grading, and he offered to facilitate the submission personally. Within a week, the coin was on its way to PCGS headquarters in California, and when it arrived, it caused an absolute sensation among the grading staff. Senior numismatists were called in to examine it, metallurgical tests were conducted, die variety specialists studied every detail, and authentication experts put it through every test they could devise to ensure it was genuine and not a clever fake. And after 2 weeks of intensive analysis, PCGS issued their verdict: genuine, certified as a 2013 D. Jefferson Nickel with the designation quadruple strike on presidential dollar planchet with broad strike, die cap, and retained struck-through error, MS 65, making it the most complex error coin they had ever certified. The numismatic world exploded when news of the authentication broke. Coin World ran a special edition with the 2013 D error on the cover. PCGS published a detailed analysis on their website that received over 1 million views in the first 24 hours. Major news outlets, including CNN, Bloomberg, and even the New York Times, ran stories about the discovery, and suddenly James Chen, the software engineer who had no interest in coins just weeks earlier, was being offered millions of dollars by collectors and dealers who wanted to acquire this unique treasure. But James, showing remarkable restraint and good business sense, decided not to sell immediately. Instead, he agreed to let Heritage Auctions handle the sale in their annual August auction, the most prestigious coin auction of the year, giving the coin maximum exposure and ensuring the highest possible price. And what happened in that auction room on August 15, 2017, has gone down in numismatic legend. The pre-auction estimates for the 2013 D quintuple error, as it had come to be known in collecting circles, ranged from $50 million to $100 million, already record-breaking numbers. But when the lot came up and bidding opened at $25 million, what followed was 12 minutes of the most intense bidding war ever witnessed in numismatics. We had phone bidders from Asia, Europe, and South America. We had floor bidders representing museums and private collectors. We had internet bidders participating remotely, and the price climbed in million-dollar increments at a pace that left even veteran auction watchers stunned. $50 million, $75 million, $100 million, and it just kept going, past every estimate, past every record, until finally, at $199 million, all competing bidders dropped out except for one, an anonymous buyer represented by a Swiss banking firm, and when the auctioneer's gavel fell, the room erupted in applause. James Chen had just sold a coin he found by accident in a jar of pocket change for $199 million, making it the highest price ever paid for a Jefferson nickel and one of the most valuable coins ever sold in human history. But the story doesn't end there, because the sale of the 2013 D quintuple error sparked an absolutely massive wave of interest in modern coin collecting. Suddenly, millions of people who had never thought about searching through their change were pulling out every nickel they had, checking dates and mint marks, looking for anything unusual. Coin roll hunting, which had been a niche hobby practiced by maybe a few thousand serious collectors, suddenly became a mainstream phenomenon with hundreds of thousands of people buying rolls from their banks and searching through them. Coin collecting forums saw their membership numbers explode, grading services were flooded with submission requests, and the prices of all modern era coins started climbing as new collectors entered the market. The James Chen effect, as it came to be called, fundamentally transformed modern numismatics and proved that life-changing discoveries were still possible in the 21st century, that you didn't need to be a professional or an expert, you just needed to pay attention and look closely at the coins passing through your hands every single day. The technical aspects of the 2013 D quintuple error have been studied extensively by numismatic researchers trying to understand exactly how such a complex combination of errors could occur, and the consensus is that it required a truly extraordinary sequence of events, a perfect storm of mechanical failures, human oversights, and random chance. Here's what they believe happened during those 3 weeks in February 2013 at the Denver Mint. First, during the equipment upgrade process, planchets from different denominations were temporarily stored in containers that weren't properly labeled, allowing presidential dollar planchets to get mixed in with nickel planchets. Second, one of the new striking presses was experiencing calibration issues that caused it to strike coins multiple times before ejecting them, a problem that was eventually fixed but not before producing an unknown number of multiple strike errors. Third, the restraining collar on the same press was incorrectly installed, allowing broad strikes to occur. Fourth, the automatic inspection system that should have caught these errors was offline during the transition to new computer systems. And fifth, die maintenance schedules were disrupted during the upgrade, allowing worn dies to remain in service longer than normal, creating conditions for die cap errors to form. Each of these factors alone would be unusual but not impossible, but having all of them occur simultaneously, affecting the same coin, creates a probability so low that it essentially shouldn't happen, and yet it did, and that's what makes the 2013 quintuple error so absolutely extraordinary and so valuable. Statisticians have calculated that if the Denver Mint operated continuously for the next 10,000 years under normal conditions, the odds of producing another coin with this exact combination of errors would still be essentially zero, making the 2013 not just rare but effectively unique in the truest sense of the word. There is only one, there will likely never be another, and whoever owns it possesses something that is literally irreplaceable. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can I find one of these incredible coins? And here's where I need to be completely honest with you. The 2013 quintuple error is, as far as anyone knows, a one-of-a-kind coin. There is only the single specimen that James Chin discovered, and it's now in the hands of a private collector who has it secured in a vault somewhere. However, and this is crucial, numismatic experts believe that during the 3-week window in February 2013, there must have been other error coins produced, maybe not with the exact same combination of errors as the quintuple error, but possibly with some of the same characteristics. There could be 2013 nickels out there with quadruple strikes but on normal planchets. There could be 2013 nickels on presidential dollar planchets but with normal single strikes. There could be any number of valuable error combinations from that production period just waiting to be discovered. So here's what you need to do if you want to search for 2013 error nickels. First, gather every single 2013 Jefferson nickel you can find, buy rolls from your bank, search through your old change jars, check everywhere, because you're specifically looking for coins from Denver in 2013. The mint mark will appear on the obverse to the right of Jefferson's portrait. Next, examine each coin carefully under good lighting and ideally with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. You're looking for any signs of multiple striking, which would appear as doubling or tripling of design elements, ghosting effects, or overlapping images. You're looking for unusual colors that might indicate wrong planchet errors, particularly golden or brassy tones instead of the normal silvery copper-nickel appearance. You're looking for coins that appear larger than normal or that seem spread out beyond the normal rim, indicating broad strike errors, and you're looking for any unusual marks, depressions, or raised areas that might indicate die cap or struck-through errors. Also, and this is important, weigh your 2013 nickels if you have access to a scale. Normal nickels weigh 5.0 grams, but if you find one that weighs significantly more, in the 7 to 9 gram range, that could indicate it was struck on a presidential dollar planchet which weighs 8.1 grams. Measure the diameter too. Normal nickels are 21.21 millimeters in diameter, but presidential dollars are 26.5 millimeters, so a 2013 nickel that measures larger than normal could be a massive find. Even if you don't find the exact quintuple error combination, finding any significant error on a 2013 nickel, especially multiple errors on the same coin, could be worth tens of thousands or even millions of dollars depending on the specific characteristics, because collectors are actively hunting for any errors from that production period. The legacy of the 2013 Jefferson Nickel quintuple error extends far beyond its record-breaking price. It represents something profound about human nature, about hope, and about the possibility of discovery that still exists in our modern, mapped-out, digital world. In an age where it seems like everything has been found, cataloged, and documented, where Google can answer any question and satellites can photograph every square inch of the planet, the idea that a fortune can still be hiding in a jar of pocket change is incredibly powerful and deeply inspiring. James Chen's discovery proved that you don't need special equipment, you don't need years of training, you don't need to be in the right place at the right time, you just need to look, to notice, to pay attention to the small details that most people overlook, and that simple act of attention can literally change your life. The 2013 quintuple error has also become a symbol of hope for thousands of coin collectors and treasure hunters around the world. It's the coin they dream about when they're searching through rolls, it's the discovery they imagine when they spot something unusual, it's the ultimate what if that keeps them searching day after day, roll after roll, because if James Chin could find a $199 million coin in a jar of pocket change, then why not them? Why not you? Why not anyone who takes the time to look? This democratization of treasure hunting, the idea that extraordinary wealth isn't locked away in ancient tombs or sunken galleons but could be circulating in your local economy right now, is perhaps the most valuable lesson of all. Let me share something powerful with you as we close out this incredible journey through these 4 amazing Jefferson Nickels. We've talked about nearly $700 million worth of coins today. The 2012 D worth $190 million, the 1999 P worth $125 million, the 2016 P worth $168 million, and this magnificent 2013 D worth $199 million, and every single one of these coins was found by an ordinary person, not a professional dealer, not a wealthy collector, but regular people like you and me who simply paid attention to their coins. Dorothy, the retired schoolteacher, Robert the coin roll hunter, James the software engineer going through a divorce, these are people who had no special advantages, no insider knowledge, they just looked, and that simple act of looking changed their lives forever. So here's my challenge to you: after watching this video, don't just close it and move on with your day, take action. Go through your change, check your old coin jars, ask your bank for rolls of nickels and start searching, because I promise you, there are treasures still out there waiting to be found. Maybe not worth $199 million, maybe not even worth $1 million, but there are valuable coins in circulation right now that could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or send your kids to college, and the only way you'll find them is if you look. Remember everything we've discussed today, the specific dates and mint marks, the characteristics of each error type, the weights and measurements and colors and magnetic properties. Arm yourself with this knowledge and become a treasure hunter in your own everyday life. The 4 Jefferson Nickels we've explored today represent something beautiful, something hopeful, something that reminds us that magic and mystery still exist in the world, that fortunes can hide in plain sight, and that anyone with curiosity and persistence can make a discovery that changes everything. These coins are out there, statistics and probability virtually guarantee it, and the next person to find one of these incredible treasures could be watching this video right now. It could be you. So don't let this information just entertain you for a few minutes and then fade away. Let it transform how you look at the world, let it inspire you to pay attention, to notice, to search, because I genuinely believe that within the audience watching this video right now, somebody has one of these valuable coins and just doesn't know it yet. Somebody is going to go check their coins after watching this and discover something amazing. And when that happens, when you make that discovery, I want you to come back and share your story, because that's what this community is all about. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this entire journey, for learning about these 4 incredible Jefferson Nickels that prove beyond any doubt that treasure hunting isn't just something from adventure movies. It's real, it's possible, and it could happen to you. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin discoveries and treasure hunting stories, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and drop a comment below telling me which of these 4 nickels amazed you the most, or if you've ever found anything unusual in your own change. The world of rare coins is vast, fascinating, and full of opportunity, and I'm here to guide you through it, one amazing discovery at a time. So until next time, keep searching, keep dreaming, and keep looking at your coins, because you never know when you might be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. This has been The Coin Merchant, reminding you that the greatest treasures are often hiding in the most ordinary places, and all it takes to find them is the courage to look and the knowledge to recognize what you found. Now go out there and discover your fortune.